Hi, I'm Ethan and I love muzzleloading. Today we're as close as we have ever been to possibly, I say possibly, knowing who purchased the GOEX brand and the GOEX facility in Louisiana. Now before we go any further, I want to say that we don't have any hard concrete confirmation here. We have no announcements from any company aside from Hodgdon saying that they sold GOEX in 2021 on their own website. That's the only thing that we're going on here that is concrete. There have been a lot of rumors swimming around, but one rumor in particular is starting to see some actual backing here, which is why we're talking about it today. As of January 26, 2021, we're starting to see some traction in the rumor that the Estes model rocket company may have purchased GOEX. So what am I seeing that leads I Love Muzzleloading to think that this might be a little more concrete? Early yesterday afternoon, around my lunch break really, I received notification about a job posting that had been posted in Minden, Louisiana. Minden is the home of the GOEX facility after it was moved from Pennsylvania. So Louisiana has been the focus of GOEX now pretty much for its most recent iteration here. So and this job posting was for a corporate controller from the Estes Energetics company. So technically, as we look at this and as we start to dive into this information, we need to realize that there are two different entities here. They're very similar and they are connected in some corporate capacity, but the Estes model rocket division isn't necessarily the company that may have purchased GOEX here. Everything that we're seeing as far as a possible purchase of GOEX is coming from the Estes Energetics company. Estes Energetics is an offshoot company of the model rocket company dealing exclusively with engines, propellants, thrust from the hobby market up to the industrial market and government contracts, as noted on their website. So everything going around about the model rocket company possibly purchasing GOEX isn't necessarily right when we look at how the company is set up here. The energetic side is what we're seeing as the possible buyer here for GOEX. And it's important to remember that as we move forward. On January 26, 2022, we broke the story that Estes Energetics was looking for a corporate controller in Minden, Louisiana. If you look at the history of Estes Energetics and Estes in general, if you want to go up, kind of up a level here, they don't have any existing facility in Minden. If you want to know what a corporate controller is, you can see the full description for the job posting right here. You can check this out. There are a few interesting details in here, primarily being the request for somebody with experience dealing with government contracts and working alongside the government. It's something that Hodgdon was always tight-lipped about, and just about everybody knew, though, that GOEX produced in some capacity some black powder for the U.S. military. Again, because it's Defense Department and military contracts and things, nobody's really at liberty to talk about it. But everybody in the black powder world understood that that was kind of that was a part of the market for GOEX and for Hodgdon. And seeing the request here for the Estes Energetics corporate controller position for somebody that knows how to deal with government contracts leads me to believe that this could be, in line with the GOEX acquisition that we've been hearing about and rumored about. But again, it's nothing super concrete. Another piece of evidence, though, that we do have kind of in the positive camp here is if you look at the Louisiana Secretary of State website, you'll notice that the information for the GOEX company has changed. While the operating locations and things are still Minden, Louisiana, we can see the primary business addresses have changed to match the same business operating address as Estes Energetics. So again, we don't have anything concrete here. The only reason that I'm reporting on it is, one, the absolute load of emails I woke up to this morning, but also these things are starting to line up. Not trying to take anything away from an official announcement or anything, but trying to share some of the information that I have so that we can all take a deep breath and realize, like we've said for a while now, it's going to be okay, and look forward to a positive 2023 based on estimates that I've heard as far as the GOEX plant's operational capacity. So is the model rocket company purchasing GOEX? Technically, no. When we look at the breakup between the Estes model rocket company and Estes Energetics, the Estes Energetics side of things is its spin-off, is by their own words a spin-off entity, still associated obviously by the brand name and the location being both in the same general region in Colorado. But as far as I know, they operate as two separate businesses. The Estes Model Rocket Company creating model rockets and more the hobbyist side of things. And the Estes Energetics company is focused on engines, propellants, really all of the stuff that allows the rockets to go up, but not associated necessarily with the hobbyist side of things. You can check out their website. We'll have a link in the description below to see a little bit more of what they're about. That's something to keep in mind. I think it's important that we define these things as we move forward. A lot of folks are saying that the model rocket company has purchased GOEX and they're only going to continue making model rockets. It's not exclusively the model rocket company like folks are saying, and B, there's been no word at all from anybody about any change in production. So let's talk about that a little bit. In today's world, it seems like a lot of us enjoy talking about just the end of everything, the end of muzzleloading, the end of guns, the end of black powder, and there's never any hope. And I don't quite understand why we default to, oh, there's a new buyer for GOEX. It's the rumor has been kind of solidified for less than a day, and people have already decided that they're not making sporting powder and it doesn't matter. Well, if you look at what these corporate controller positions do, like we're seeing them looking for in Minden from Estes Energetics, like we've talked about, these corporate controllers come in and they look at everything. They look at the data, they look at the finances, they look at just logistics of what was produced. They analyze it and they give an opinion to a corporate board or to the higher ups at a company as far as how things were operated and what the numbers, what the hard facts on that were. This doesn't mean that they're not producing sporting powder. It doesn't mean that they are producing sporting powder. It means that it's too early to tell. And going around telling people that they're not going to make sporting powder, even though we've just got the possibility of the buyer, isn't really helping anybody. We don't know. We don't even know that Estes Energetics has purchased it. There's just some documents that lead us to believe that. It was my understanding and kind of common understanding from all the folks that I talked to in the black powder and the muzzleloading industry that the GOEX sporting black powder, sporting meaning for firearms, for hunting, for muzzleloaders, that kind of thing, was an offshoot of the military produced powder. Now, we could never get any concrete information on that because, again, the Department of Defense contracts and things keep it pretty hush-hush. But if we're led to believe that, and that could just be a 30-year-old rumor that has become fact just because so many people keep repeating it, but if that is the case, it stands that they could still produce sporting powder because the corporate controller position is looking for experience with government contracts. That could lead us to believe that they're wanting to continue the military contracts, which if you line up all these could-bes, again, a lot of could-bes here, it could mean that they're still interested in producing the military powder, which would produce offshoot sporting black powder for muzzleloading enthusiasts. Again, nothing concrete. I'm telling you what I know and what I've put together here and what other people have put together here online to try to lay some of this out because, again, already forums and groups and things are just exploding with everybody's opinion, which is great, but it's important that we line some of this stuff up and look at what's actually here. Do we need to go out and start harassing model rocket enthusiasts for their black powder? No. I don't think so. We're doing okay. There's more powder coming into the country from Swiss and Schutzen right now. It's going to be a while if and when the GOEX plant comes back online before they start producing powder. We saw that fire just about a year ago now in June of 2021. We don't know in what capacity that affected the production line and how it's going to change things for a possible new buyer and how long it takes them to get to market. But again, I think it's important to be patient with everybody. And I would encourage you, if you're interested in this, based on what I've seen others saying and in my experience too, now is not the time to flood Estes Model Rocket Company or Estes Energetics, the engine and propellant company, with a bunch of questions about black powder. From what I've seen, the people answering your questions are not involved in any of these decisions that could have happened if Estes Energetics has purchased GOEX. They're in the middle of going through this process. No decisions have been made as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know about anything, and they're not going to be able to tell you anything. All you're going to do is be asking customer service reps the same questions they don't have answers to. So for now, I think it's important that we not bug them. We not bug them too much, at least, everybody out there. We don't need to, Hodgson doesn't have any information for us. From what I've seen, the Estes Model Rocket Company doesn't know anything about this publicly, and the energetics side of the company, again, isn't isn't really answering a lot of questions. So I just asked that because if Estes Energetics is coming into the black powder business here, we don't want their first experience with the muzzleloading community to be a bunch of the same question over and over again. I think time will tell on all of this. Again, none of this is concrete, but feeling kind of hopeful here. There's stuff is lined up here a little bit more than we have seen in any of the other rumors that have come out. So thinking positive here at I Love Muzzleloading, and I appreciate all the questions and things that we receive about this. I will keep you informed to the best of my ability on all of this. Like I said, as soon as I heard about the job posting and verified it, we broke that story and shared that story, as well as the Secretary of State posting here for Louisiana. You know, some positive, promising news for us here that I'm hopeful for the continuation of American-made black powder. If you have any questions about this, you know, feel free to let me know down in the comments or shoot me an email. We'll have all this information at ilovemuzzleloading.com. You can check out ilovemuzzleloading.com/savegoex for complete timeline of the GOEX closure and sale with hard fact information as it came. No rumors or speculation there. So you can see kind of what this timeline looks like as it happened. Again, none of this is for certain. I want to say that, you know, I'm not trying to tell everybody that this is what happened. I'm just showing you the evidence that I've found, and I leave you to make your own decisions on this. If you think this is, you know, this could be true, let me know. And if you don't think so, let me know as well. I think there's a lot of you out there that have a lot more experience analyzing these kind of things than me. And I'd love to hear your feedback on it. Once again, I'm Ethan and I Love Muzzleloading. If you're just here for the muzzleloading news, check out some of the other muzzleloading videos that we have on the channel. I think you'll enjoy them. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.